Alright, still working on the chopper. It's there in the background. It's rideable right now. I've been using it, but I've got a lot more work to do. But for now, I'm taking a break on it. And I got this. I like to work on people's stuff for free, fix up low income, homeless, disabled, whatever, people that need stuff fixed. So I'm working on this motorized trike. Has a Bafang motor and whatnot, and the system on it was a piece of crap burnout, so I'm going to be redoing it, going from that little dinky 250 watt controller to a decent 1000 watt controller that's rated at anywhere between like 48 and 84 volts is what it's rated for, so it'll be fine. It's a 48 volt system, and unfortunately these cheaply made, overpriced name brand motors come with short little wires and a plug, so you can't actually have the wire go all the way back and then to a bus bar or whatever. You gotta have that stupid ass extension plug, and then it's gonna, unfortunately, because the way it burn up, oh, that's all the length I get, which just barely reaches to that neck. So the bus bar will go right there. All of its wires will get connected in, all of that thing's wires. I was going to wire in the guy some reverse because he's homeless, and it's probably what burned it up, with that little bitty controller getting stuck on a rock or something and then just holding the throttle. And sometimes reverse would be great, but this is a geared shitty ass motor. I hate name brand motors, and I hate geared motors for hub motors. They're the worst. They're so annoying. But so yeah, he won't be able to have reverse, unfortunately, without taking it apart and doing all the extra shit to it. But anyways, the controller will go in between there if it's there, bus bar on this side, because that's where it has to go. No option on that one, just because of that bullshit. And yeah, so bus bar, that. And then he's got a battery that sits in the back basket. I might even fix that and move it and put the battery up there where it's supposed to be, so he has more room in his basket. But yeah, and then the same person who dropped this off for him dropped off that little thing. It's old and worn out, but it just needs new batteries. Those aren't the batteries for it. Those are actually worn out batteries too, but I've got them charged up enough to test stuff. And that thing works, just needs a reupholstered seat and new tires. But I'm probably going to use the drive system on the back of it for a Power Wheels toy that I've been working on for a neighbor's kid, and then save the swivel seat and everything for a different project. And then I've got a whole other big fancy power wheelchair that has all the linear actuators for, basically it turns the top half into a big bed or any angle you want, even little sections. There's like 5 different linear actuators for pivoting every little piece of it on the top. So the lower drive unit is a dual motor, so it can be driven skid steer style, which is great. That's actually the way it was designed. It didn't come with a controller or anything, and the batteries which are those, pretty much don't hold a charge. They'll charge up and read fully charged and level off, but as soon as you try to draw from them, they dip down and they're dead, which is what it does on that. But they were enough to test this little one. This is a single motor with a whole geared axle, kind of like on a lawnmower, like a Peerless axle, except for that's got, I don't know if Peerless has a diff in it. That's got an open diff, which is annoying. I might figure out how to lock that, because it's going on a kid's Power Wheels toy that needs to be able to go in the grass just fine. But that saves me a lot of work, because I was essentially designing a axle and a separate motor and whatnot for the kid's toy, and well, one was just plopped in my lap that's pre-set up, just it happens to have an open diff, unfortunately. A lot of projects going, and then there's the big 4-wheeled big one that I had last year and over the winter. I gave away the upper body to it, and so I'm going to be redesigning the upper body to be more like a camper sort of style. So the seat, which probably will be that one's seat, just reupholstered since it's swivel seat and all that stuff, is going to go pretty much right over the front axle, like a cab over truck, and then the steering wheel and stuff just pretty much straight down like a bus or something. That way I have all the room behind me to have storage for stuff. Make it long enough to have a fold-out little bed and whatnot, like a cot or something in there. For camping trips or just hauling bigger things. Plus, it'll be big enough to put plenty of power on the roof, more batteries, whatnot. The other one. I've still got the drive system, all the lower half of the frame. I just need to rebuild the upper half. Hopefully, before winter, I'll get around to starting that again. Otherwise, I'll be stuck using that chopper in the snow. I won't like that one damn bit. So, I better get my shit together and get to work. Waiting to finish this project, the guy is gonna... I gotta get some... I'm reckoning I'm gonna use 10 gauge wire. And especially if I can move the battery to there. 10 gauge wire... probably well overkill. Just a little short run of it from the battery's plate to the bus bar. Well, to another... that little XT60 connector that'll go on the bus bar. I know, there's crimping, there's heat shrink, there's soldering, there's all sorts of methods. I'm using the bus bar. So, yep. This way it's all modular. As shit breaks or wears out, just unscrew it, pop it off, and put on another piece. It's easier to work on that way. Especially when you're poor and homeless and whatnot. It makes it more accessible for everyone to figure out how to fix. And the bus bar itself makes a bit of a heat sink for the connection. It's bigger than just soldering or crimping. There's more metal there. A bit of a heat sink for the connection. So it doesn't get too hot. Especially if you use a nice beefy bus bar. And I do. But yeah. Just thought I'd show a quick little video on that. And, I don't know. Show more as it goes. I don't know. Little stuff here and there.